this story that you guys, before I even go into the quick hits, this story that you guys are telling me to cover, and I've been paying attention to it, but I've been watching because I'm trying to figure out if there's additional insight or information that is presented that helps us to understand what really happened. But basically, two teens, brother and sister. The brother killed the sister. Oh, it's two. No, it's a brother and a sister, as far as what I know. But I'm gonna play the story. A brother and a sister allegedly. The brother killed the sister because their Christmas gift wasn't as expensive. Let me play this, and I'm gonna react to it in real time. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notification. Or maybe it was two brothers. You might be right. Oh, okay. All right. Let me get this is they fit the profile. I'm looking at the cover photo right now. They fit the profile. They fit the profile. You know how I think honestly, before I even get into the story, I think that it's spirits in here. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm telling you, I've seen it happen over and over again in which it seemed like the devil demons be running rampant in people's hair. That ain't right. I know that demons live in filth. Like I'm pretty sure and I can pretty much confirm that. But I'm telling you, man, they fit the profile. Look at them. Let's go ahead and get into the story.
23-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abriel Baldwin was...
See, it says she got shot by her own brother. Rita. It says she got shot by her own brother. Let me play this again.
Somebody 23-year-old mother of
twice, and it said that it was two brothers that were fighting, and they shot their mother.
Okay, let me see the story. Let me see the story.
Two is dead. 23-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abriel Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abriel Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her two kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve, while at her grandmother's home on 22nd Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darkus began pulling guns on one another.
DeMarcus and Darkness. Was it Darkus or was it Darkness? DeMarcus and Darkness. Why is okay? So apparently she's a mother. That's what they telling me in the chat. But she was the sister of the two brothers that were arguing. She was a mother though. DeMarcus and Darkness. Okay, let's go.
Abriel told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darkus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abriel stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and fired, killing her.
Wait a minute. A 15-year-old is walking around in the crib. This is Florida. A 15-year-old is walking around in the house with a pistol, still asking for Christmas gifts. What? And then they got mad at the 14-year-old. The sister steps in and say, "Hey, y'all need to chill out." The 15-year-old pull out his pistol and shoot the sister. Oh my God. I'm reading that super chat shortly.
Sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground. Then, Darkus pulled his own gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff.
So he shot the sister that had an 11-month-old in her hand, killed her, and then shot the brother too. What in the world is going on? Good God.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
Wait a minute. What did they do? What do you mean they got off too easy? How did they get off? They out? All right, I'm gonna look at the sheriff's press conference very, very shortly. But let's hold on for a minute. Let's just stop. It's a lot to unpack here in this short video before I get to the sheriff's. All right, let me just summarize this. They drew down on each other. The sister is like, yo, y'all need to put those guns away. Like it's normal.
They are not getting the consequences that they should get.
And you know, the worst part about it is these are the type of people that the teachers got to deal with. And then the people be like, you know, you got these pro-black people that'll say, oh, no, it's systematic against the kids, or the kids are supposed. Man, these is people that's walking around and they got pistols. 14 and 15-year-olds is out here breaking in cars, stealing pistols, got a history of violence against their teachers and against school administrators. And these are the people that they got to deal with on a regular basis. And y'all think that this is normal? And so now we supposed to hold the administrators and the teachers accountable? Man, listen, bro. I seen a teacher go to jail earlier this year. It was a male teacher that went to jail earlier this year because he got caught with a gun. What you think he's supposed to do? They helpless out here. Yo, these are prison systems. The way that these kids is walking around with weapons and terrorizing the system, these are prison systems disguised as schools that these kids got to be in, or that these teachers got to teach in, because the teachers is the victims. The teachers is the victims. This is crazy.
That keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
An 11-month-old
Only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
That's crazy. Let me switch over for a second. Let me see something.
All right, so we're here this morning to talk about a homicide that happened here in Largo on Christmas Eve, December 24th at about 1:45 p.m. The victim in the homicide is Abrielle Baldwin, a 23-year-old black female. Her date of birth is May 5th of 2000. She went by the name of Bree and was a mom to two boys, a 6-year-old and an 11-month-old. The incident happened at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. We've arrested two people, and I'll explain the incident as to what happened. The first person that was arrested is DeMarcus Coley. He's a 14-year-old black male. Date of birth is May 2nd, 2009. And he's been charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and being a delinquent in possession of a firearm. The second is Darkus Coley. He's a 15-year-old black male. Date of birth is January 31st, 2008. And his charges are attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. And
Yo, it's bad out here, bro. The culture is bad. Throw the whole culture away. Ain't nothing that we can salvage from it. We need to tear it down and just start a whole new wave, man.
both of them are in the photographs to my left, to your right, and they're brothers. So this is what happened. On Christmas Eve, as I said, December 24th.
Somebody said in the chat, I like to interact with the chat during my show for those of you that are new here. Somebody in the chat says, y'all worrying about the kids. Someone please check on the grandma. I know she going through it right now. Is it safe to say that the grandmas probably the ones that's a part of the culture that raised these kids and put them in an environment that ultimately led to this in the first place? If we really want to get to the core of it, mama, grandma, daddy, I don't see no daddies in the picture. A bunch of boys, super emotional, getting mad over Christmas presents, breaking in cars, carrying guns, and it ain't a father anywhere in the picture. So we talking about grandma. Ain't nobody talking about grandpa. Ain't nobody talking about the dad. Listen, I'm telling you, the biggest problem in society today is single parent households. It is one of the top three biggest problems within the United States of America. And y'all talking about, oh man, we need to be tracking on Gam Gam. Gam Gam was probably a part of the problem. If we just want to be real, if we just want to get down to the brass tacks of things, I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly.
Abrielle Baldwin, her 10-month-old son, her 6-year-old son, her 14-year-old brother DeMarcus, her 15-year-old brother Darkus, and their mother, Joyce Birch, who's a black female with a date of birth of June 25th, 1984, went Christmas shopping at a store here in Largo. While they're shopping, 15-year-old Darkus was jealous that their mother, Joyce, was getting 14-year-old DeMarcus more gifts than he was receiving. So they had this family spat about who was getting what and what money was being spent on who, and they're having this big thing going on in the store, and they're all arguing with each other.
So they arguing in the store. You know what the funny thing about this is most people don't even realize that what most people are celebrating as a version of Christmas is just an opportunity for y'all to spend money at stores. Because half of y'all, most of y'all, overwhelmingly most of y'all, don't even believe in Christianity in the first place. Most people don't even believe in Christmas. Most people don't even follow or celebrate it based off of, Christmas has turned into a free-for-all and for people to go into debt, and then obviously for people to complain and look to get a bunch of stuff that they don't even deserve. The spirit of what it is has been lost, and we've replaced it with a bunch of presents. And most people that spend the most money don't even abide by or believe in this in what it is anyway.
They left the store and headed to their grandmother's house, which is where the incident happened at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. They all piled into one car and they were heading over to her house. The Coleys, along with Joyce Birch, lived at 608 Westminster Boulevard in Oldsmar. They were going to their grandmother's house because she was going to watch Bree's 6-year-old and 11-month-old baby when she went to work.
Jesus, where's the daddy?
So they got there to this house.
Where's the fathers at? Are the fathers anywhere in the picture whatsoever?
On 22nd Avenue Southwest at about 1:45 p.m. on Sunday. Darkus, who's the 15-year-old, entered the home and went into the kitchen with his grandmother. DeMarcus, the 14-year-old, stood in the doorway because, again, they're all arguing and they're having this big spat about what happened while shopping and who's getting what and who didn't get what for Christmas. So this is just normal what people do when they have these young kids getting spats like this. And of course, I'm saying this sarcastically because he's all mad at his brother about what his brother was getting and is not getting. He stood in the doorway and he took out his .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun.
Jesus.
And he pointed it at Darkus and told him he was going to shoot him in the head.
So the 14-year-old pointed it at the 15-year-old. The dark-skinned one pointed it at the lighter-skinned one and said, "I'm gonna blow your head off. I'm gonna blow your brains off." This is like not real. This can't be America. This can't be a real scenario. It's the perfect situation. It's the perfect storm for how we define the culture to be trash. Look at them. Mugshots, lives ruined for the rest of their life, young grandmother, young mother, no fathers in the picture, 2 kids left with no daddy to grow up God knows what. Everybody going to jail. Some people dead. Some people growing up without parents. It ain't no parents in the picture that then created this narrative anyway. They got their guns stolen by breaking into other people's cars, and they got a history of causing problems inside of the school system. How much more trash can the culture get?
So you got the 14-year-old who's mad at the 15-year-old because mom's not buying equal amounts of gifts. They get to grandma's house, and he takes out his gun and
Taked out his gun.
tells him he's going to shoot him in the head.
They walking around
So
with guns.
DeMarcus tries to get Darkus to fight. Darkus said he didn't want to fight and told him to get out of the house, and he didn't want anything to do with him. One of the boy's uncles was present in the home, and
It's always an uncle somewhere. Ain't no father, it's an uncle.
he separated them by moving DeMarcus out of the house and moving him out into the driveway area. This is the house here to my right, again to your left, and that's the door where he was standing into, and that's the driveway area that he moved him out to where this happened. And so DeMarcus left the doorway. Darkus is still in the house in the kitchen. DeMarcus was standing by a parked vehicle in the driveway when Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas." And at that point, Abrielle was in the driveway and she was carrying her 10-month-old baby in a carrier in her hand.
And the baby, listen, the babies, the 6-year-olds, they just witness it all. They don't know why they're going to have trauma when they grow up. They don't know why they're going to have PTSD. They don't know. All they know is is gunshots, arguing, cursing, guns all everywhere. The babies, the 6-year-old, the 10-month-old, they just get to witness this. People walking around with babies and they just in front of the people and they arguing. Man, this is crazy, bro.
Chris then began arguing with Abrielle and used some very, very derogatory language that I won't repeat at all, and all kinds of profanity. He was calling her a
He got the whole story right here.
whore and all kinds of other stuff. And
called her
stated
what?
that profanity. He was calling her a whore and all kinds of other stuff.
So all of the family secrets is coming out during this Christmas argument. And it all started over it all started over a single parent household. But it all starts over so he started calling her out based off of what her real behavior is, and he calling her a whore. He said, "You for the streets. Who you talking to?" She trying to break up the fight, and then she basically is an innocent bystander catching L's for what her behavior is. And look, this is the perfect scenario of what the culture is.
And stated that he was going to shoot her and that he was going to, quote, shoot the baby too.
Jesus Christ.
DeMarcus then moved toward Abrielle and shot her in the chest with a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, again, while she's carrying the baby. Abrielle fell to the ground, so did the baby. The baby wasn't hurt because the baby was in a carrier. So when DeMarcus falls to the ground, Darkus comes out of the house. And again, Darkus is 15, and he takes out his .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun because, again, I'll say this sarcastically, just normal that all these kids, that's what you do, right? You just carry handguns. When you get in a spat with your sibling, you take out your guns and you have a gun battle.
This is crazy.
So he takes out his gun and tells DeMarcus, so Darkus tells DeMarcus, quote, "You shot my MF sister," and then Darkus shot DeMarcus one time in the stomach. So DeMarcus falls.
This is a lot. This is a lot. This is a lot.
Falls to the ground. And when Darkus shot DeMarcus, DeMarcus was unarmed. And there's about an 8-second gap between the time that DeMarcus shot Bree and then Darkus comes out and shoots DeMarcus. And when he shot him, he no longer had possession of the gun.
So Dummy in Darkness. Jesus Christ.
Darkus, the 15-year-old, then ran, threw his gun in a nearby yard, fled to a relative's house up in Clearwater, where we subsequently arrested him. Unfortunately, Abrielle Baldwin was transported to Largo Medical Center Hospital here in Largo with a single gunshot wound to her chest, and she was pronounced dead at the hospital. Basically, the round went in through her left arm into her chest area, went across, went into both lungs, all kinds of internal bleeding. She bled out, and it popped both lungs. She couldn't breathe.
Jesus. What a miserable way to go. Oh, God. I just can't imagine. Pop both lungs. You got gunshot wounds and you suffocating to death, and your 6-year-old and your 10-year-old or your 10-month-old is sitting there watching. Oh, my God. Talk about miserable. I don't wish that on anybody. Good grief. What, y'all don't think that we need to have a reset in the culture? Y'all think we should just keep going the way that we going? Music, culture, social media, the way that we celebrate the things that's worse for us. This is the way to go. You know what's gonna happen? We gonna go on this. We gonna all feel sad about it. We gonna send a prayer up. They gonna do a GoFundMe, and we gonna forget about it tomorrow. We gonna move on with our lives, and we gonna still do the same thing. Subject our teachers to the same thing. Keep having kids out of wedlock. Same thing. Listening to the same music. Same thing. It's gonna be the same thing over and over again.
DeMarcus was transported to a hospital where he underwent surgery. He's in custody, remains in the hospital, is in stable condition, and upon release, he'll be transferred to the custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The Pinellas Pasco State Attorney's Office is going to review the case and decide whether to charge DeMarcus as an adult with the first-degree murder of his sister. Darkus, again, the 15-year-old, made self-harm statements after we picked him up at the location where he was in Clearwater, and he is right now in a secure mental health facility, and he'll be charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence and transported to the Pinellas Juvenile Assessment Center upon his release from the mental health facility.
Because he threw the gun and he tried to hide the gun or whatever.
The .40 caliber handgun that DeMarcus used to shoot his sister was recovered at the scene, and the .45 caliber handgun that Darkus used to shoot DeMarcus has not been recovered. Again, when he ran, he tossed it in the backyard. We've searched that area out there. We can't find it. And the unfortunate reality is probably going to be used in the next crime because somebody probably picked it up, and there's all kinds of people over there. And as I'm going to talk about here in about 1 second, there's way too many guns out there on the street. Way too many.
All right, that's enough. I don't want to hear no more. If you are a law enforcement officer, God bless you. I don't know why they would ever say defund the police. I don't know why anybody would ever have the position or take the position that we don't need more law enforcement officers. If you are married to a law enforcement officer, pray for them every single night as they go out. If you have somebody that is a teacher, especially a teacher in these spaces where they got to deal with this culture, or that they 14, 15-year-olds and they out of control, pray for your teachers and give them a raise. If you are married to a law enforcement officer, cherish every single day because they got to put their lives on the line every day for us. And they stressed, they tired, and they absolutely deserve more raises and pensions and promotions. And if you are a parent and a person that is deciding that you want to open up your legs to people and have a child out of wedlock, this is what you're creating. And if you are a man that decides that you want to continue to populate the earth and you're not really a father, then this is what you're creating. All right. So I think that the culture is trash. I've been said it is trash. Seems like people are just now starting to get the message when they wanted to hold me accountable about saying that the culture is trash. But it's okay because the kids are the ones that's going to pay for the sins of their parents, not me. I'm just going to identify it. You're going to have to live through it. And the teachers are going to suffer. The police officers got to dodge it. And we just continuing to create the same thing, and it gets worse and worse every single year. And now the children, the 6-year-old and the 10-year-olds, or the 10-month-old is going to grow up having this forever seared in their brain, and they're always going to be able to look this up on the internet to find out what really happened to their mother and they uncles. Crazy, bro.